Hello and welcome to What Do You Think? This is our 5th episode, and this is Craig.
This is Steve.
And we'd like to invite you to another happy episode here. Craig has put a small clip together to show. We're going to start with that, and I don't know if you had an introduction for that.
Yeah, before we get there, I just want to, the hip-hop community had a huge loss today. Phife Dawg, rest in peace. One of the founding members of A Tribe Called Quest. Huge inspiration for me personally, as far as music and style of delivery and this and that. But we just want to send out good vibes to his family and to the hip hop community. I just wanted to say that first because it was kind of a shock, hearing that this morning.
Yeah, Craig's been choked up by it all day, I can tell. See, I'm not joking about that, But, and I myself, having been one that was opposed to some types of music in my past, now embrace hip hop in a much different way.
Yeah.
And
totally.
Everything out to.
You are hip hop. No, you are. That's totally. But before we get into the clip, there's some of Steve's stuff in there. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about neural pathways.
Oh, we're doing my little poem here. I've been healing from many things. Those of you who do not know me, I was very ill just a few short years ago, and I'm a good mechanic, so I've been fixing the body pretty well. Once I learned that my diet was my fuel, and I've been using my medicine as my food as my medicine, and I'm healing my body. Mine was a little different though. I learned that it's about pathways, neural pathways, and we can change our lives. We can change how we feel. We can change what we actually perceive, and what our reality is. We can pretty much control a lot. We can't walk in front of moving cars. They will still hurt. Intention does change many things, and it changes how we perceive traffic,
Yeah.
And then so I want to share this with as many people as I can, so I'm writing poetry about it. I want to sing it. I want to sing it to the world, so I'm trying.
This version, if I remember correctly, was it was like the first time you shared it with me.
Okay.
So there's a lot of stuff in there that I feel like you kind of changed and rearranged. It's still really nice.
It's the original. I took a lot out of the original.
It's cool in itself, you know what I mean? Okay. But just as
like a musical, it's not. I made it more melodic.
Totally, fit it more to music and whatnot.
It's not quite done yet. There might still be more to come out, or more to go in. Who knows?
So before we go to the clip, we're going to do some questions and stuff after. We also have a couple unexpected, what would you say?
Well, we want to be as organic as we can, and we look for things to happen on the show in an organic manner. So, as they come up, random, if you will.
Yeah.
And so, if we were sitting out there thinking about what to do on the show, and an old friend, the person who I met in the beginning of this healing journey of mine, a few years ago, and she went off to Peru to be on her own healing journey, and then she experienced a bit of an accident when she was out of country, and she's further along this healing journey now than she was in the beginning. She has some extra things to work with now, some extra tools and some extra opportunities, let's say.
Not to get too far into that, but it's interesting how people who experience extreme trauma or extreme circumstances almost gravitate, or it's easier to gravitate towards this path in a way.
Well, it guides us. It kind of pushes you toward it, totally. and it can be a great blessing because we tend to walk around in the world with our eyes on many of our complaints and the issues that we have with the world, and quite often not looking at what we contribute. When we're injured or when we're forced to deal with pain, or whether it's emotional or physical pain, sometimes it gets us to reassess things and change priorities and look at the world in a little bit different way, and that's what art helps with. It gives different
wake-up call.
It's a wake-up call, all right, on a daily basis. When you and I, the pain that we've been through, anybody who's had broken ribs or any other major injury where breathing hurts, 24 hours a day for any days in a row, you're going to come to some realizations.
It's interesting too because it makes me think that those type of things, because we've had one of our really good friends had something
very
real
tragic
serious
has
happened to him,
recently,
you know, and luckily he's making a full recovery, and which I kind of already knew which would happen.
It
but
puts him on a path. Now, whether he decides to stay on that
exactly.
path or not is
but
another
the
story.
thing that's interesting though is like going back to what you're saying about when, you know, you're forced to deal with that pain every day. You're forced to be with yourself every day. You know, because if you're bedridden and you can't do anything, it's hard to escape away from that. So I always looked at it like,
well, you can use drugs to escape
That's
away
true,
from it.
that's
You can use
true.
other people, like if there are enablers
doubt,
in your life,
true,
as
true.
people are waiting on your hand and foot,
True.
and you may not go through the same experiences that I did, because I had nobody waiting on me. I've been in 2 slings at once and had to wipe my own self. Nobody was over there trying to help me with many things. So, and that's been, you know, partly my own doing, I suppose. There are always choices that I could have made, but so my experiences in my trauma are very different than anybody else's experience, and that's going to be the case with everybody.
true.
There are lessons in all of them.
Yeah, no doubt.
If you can embrace your trauma as a learning tool and use it to strengthen yourself, it can be a blessing. Instead of it being, oh, poor me every day, it can be the catalyst to getting out and doing something about your life, which it has been for me. My pain keeps me on doing yoga every single day.
It makes you realize that you're not invincible. That yes, your life can just stop.
It sure brings that about, you bet.
And I think, you know, this is kind of a little off topic, but it's interesting, and I think it fits into kind of a philosophy of mine, is like, people are so afraid of the unknown, clearly.
Well,
And
for good reason.
No doubt, but that's fine. But that doesn't make it helpful. Because
we still want to venture to the unknown, yes.
Because at the end of the day, the only certain thing is uncertainty.
Uncertainty is certainly certain.
You know? And like, I guess, not accepting your own mortality. Yeah, it is accepting your own mortality. Understanding that, okay, one time, and not to get, you know, down and worry about it, but to look at it and say, okay, what do I do when I'm here? You know?
That's the important thing, to focus on what we do when we're here. Today, actually in the moment, what you're doing right now on this television program, or whatever you want to call it, here at CCTV, Complete Collaboration Television. So to be worried about what I didn't do yesterday or what I'm going to do tomorrow makes me forget about what I'm going to do today.
Absolutely.
And the reality is, many people walk around, most people from what I understand, walking around worrying about what's going to happen when I'm not here anymore. And the reality is that our death is certain and our life is now. You know, so live today, you know, whatever you believe, whether it's your religion or whether you have some other spiritual belief, or whether you just believe some kind of atheistic type of belief where you just ashes to ashes, dust to dust, and I'm gone when live now and be conscious and be aware, and it's healing. It's a healing energy. Be yourself, be what you believe is a good person, and that's how we heal.
Real quick, just a segue on, we'll go into the clip, but you just made me think of, if you're here now in the moment, there's no room to worry about the past or the future.
Well, less room. You could still
less room. True.
Well, no, if you're here now in the moment, I guess that you're not dwelling it.
I mean, it's kind of
definition of what is here and now. Then, you know.
It's here and then it's gone. All right. Let's go into this little clip. We're gonna see some of Steve's neural pathways in the first beginning stages.
You see him, right?
Like little orbs.
But they're so rounded off, like smooth, dude.
Is that pollution? Is that what that is?
Maybe, yeah, because it's right over the thing.
Deriving pleasure from my pain, and I do it in my brain to change pathways, neural pathways. We all do it every day. We can map it any way, changing pathways. Digging trenches in my mind. I do it all the time, changing pathways. Neural pathways. Neural pathways are our friends. New change to new ends. Learn to love and keep your friends. Changing pathways. Neural pathways. So if you're having all bad days, why don't you give a try this way, changing pathways. Neural pathways. So when your mom stays on the phone, leave your ass alone. There is something you can say. Say, Mom, that's okay. You just do your things your way. As for me, I'm going to change. I'm going to change some neural pathways. So if you're always feeling blue, know there's something you can do. You can put that shit to rest. You can nurture all the best. You may find that just a smile can last a long, long while. Changing pathways. So when death is at your door and it's knocked you down some more, get your ass up off the floor. You can live their life some more. Changing pathways. Neural pathways. This one stands above. You know this one is hugs. Now a pathway that I love. Changing pathways. Neural pathways. And I do it in my brain. Find new ways, changing pathways. So when a cry is what you feel, you can learn to smile. That's real. Changing pathways, mirror pathways. Did you record all that?
You look like a sad sloth that just got picked up out of the water when all he wanted was to swim. Because you know what? Sloths can swim faster in the water than in the air or on trees. Because sloths swim in the air, but they just go very, very slow. They think they're in the water because the water is the air, and the air is the water. But for sloths, the water is better for swimming. But these stupid white people take them out of the water and point you up to the cameras with their arms flapping, their 3 toes sprayed out in the wind.
What?
Well, we're back, and my friend Nanu has joined us. Like I said, we met on the lawn wondering what we were going to do today. True. And I recently found that Nanu has also been on a healing journey of her own, more so than we first met. When we first met, she was traveling the world trying to find herself, as many of my friends have gone off to do, you know. And I've wondered, why do people go to South America to find themselves? I never really understand it. And now I've gone to South America to help find myself, and I have a little bit of a clue now. And she went off and did. She went off before I did, and one of the things that got me curious about going to Brazil or somewhere in South America. And she's recently come back, and like I said, I found out that she's had a little trouble while she was out of country and has been dealing with some of the things that I deal with, some of the things that have helped make me who I am today, make me, and I'm a pretty strong person today in many ways, and I feel good about myself. And for the first 50 years of my life, I would not have said that because it wasn't true. Today, I'm a different person than I ever was, and the pain and suffering has been my guide. It has been my catalyst to do the things to heal, and those things that heal are also things that nurture spirit and helped me live my life alive today. And I'd like to hear a little bit from Nanu, what she's experienced and how we first met. A little hear out of your words, how we met, and then what you've been doing since, if you'd like, whatever you.
Sure. So we met first at Out of the Blue Gallery. I was hanging out my paintings and Stu was helping me hang them up. Ever since I got to know him a little bit, I've been calling him Benjamin Button because he keeps aging backwards every time I see him. So for all of you out there who think diet is not the answer, it's not the full answer, but it's definitely a part of it, and food is medicine, so that's been part of my journey. Since we last spoke, I've been in a car accident. I've been recovering for a year and a half. Mostly through, healthy medicine, healthy diet, healthy habits, rewiring my brain completely, struggling with PTSD at the moment and depression in that journey. And like Steve said, it's all about becoming stronger, and I am the person I am today because of what I've been going through. So I'm not out of it. I don't think I will be out of it completely anytime soon, but it's definitely a healing path. So
what are some of these things you've been doing that are on this healing path?
So definitely connecting with people who are on the same wavelength as you, finding community through art, through music, through all the healing, creativity outlets that you can find, definitely through diet as well, whatever that is to you. Like, I'm not 100% vegan or raw or anything. I am plant-based. I try to do better every day, whatever that means.
That's great.
To you.
I love that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not perfection. It's about progress.
Yeah, and whatever
There's no perfection.
Your standards are, and just, and if you have bad days, try to not kick yourself for them, but just like try to propel forward. And that's something that I say to myself and that I fail at often still. So trying to get better at it is not like
being hard on yourself.
You just
Exactly.
pointed out a very important thing. You fail at. We all fail at many things all the time. Quite often we have a very difficult time saying, I was wrong.
Yeah.
I'm so it's okay though. That's part of being human. You don't put it in front though. You don't say, I'm human so I'm going to fail. But when we do fail, we can give ourselves a break and get up and try something else.
Successful people fail the most.
Yeah.
You know
what I mean? Because a person that fails once and gives up, they're not going to fail as many times as a successful person would. Or whatever that means. I don't mean money or just being a happy
It makes
individual.
sense, yeah. Well, yeah. The more chances you take, the more possibility you're going to fail. But if you can accept those failures and just move on, those failures are lessons. Just as the injuries that I've sustained, the pain in my life is a catalyst to grow. Those are also the catalyst.
And what are those definitions too of failing, or all these words that we put so much pressure on? Like failing just means falling, and like then you have the decision and the choice to get up or to not get up. So failing is falling, like we all fall, So that's important. It's what definitions you give to those words.
And then there's really nothing to fear when we live our lives. Today in my life, I feel very little fear of anything because I know that I'm going to get back up. I've been getting back up for a long time, and now I'm actually learning how to walk, more to how to dance through life so that I don't fall anymore. So, and I get it active with people who are trying to be progressive and who are also trying to improve their lives as well as others around them through art, through community, through sharing what works for them. Where they do something in their life that helps them, and they see someone who's down, then they can share that with them. And sometimes it's just a smile. I know so many times I've been down in my life, and somebody smiled at me and they lifted me back up. And this does not cost me anything to give to anybody. And if I can help lift somebody up by me smiling, then I can afford to give that on a regular basis.
Well, who was it? Somebody said the best currency is how you make people feel.
Yeah.
I like that.
So I'm wondering if we can kind of all three of us answer some questions, have a guest host.
Right, that sounds good to me. We did it last week.
I'm not a very religious person. I consider myself a religious person, but not in the traditional sense, because all religious means is devotion to something. So I devote a lot of time to many things, whether it's creative arts or community, friends, sharing. But in the spirit of being relevant, we got a little Easter basket here with some questions. So,
And it does not imply any religion. It just happens to be the convenient Easter basket that was around to hold us questions.
so how about our guest host?
Pick a question.
Picks a question.
Now, we have not read any of these questions. So
Yes.
we do not know what they say. Please don't just read it right out. We have to at least take a quick peek.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
But we'll answer just about anything we can without getting.
Whoa.
Do you have binoculars? I mean,
Oh yeah.
You
Okay.
get some smudging going on, but no. That's interesting.
I don't know what that is.
Parents,
Oh.
friends, strangers.
Okay.
what do you think about what's this part?
People's influence
People's-
on you.
Whose influence on you? Okay. Oh wow, that's a great question.
So, what do you think about people's influence on you? Parents, friends, strangers, etc.
Do you want to answer?
Yeah, sure. I had major influences. Clearly, my mom was a free spirit. My father was very traditional and kind of stern, but hardworking. So I got both of those qualities. I also have the bad qualities of both my parents, like all of us do. But at the same time, I love my parents, but at the same time, I never let them really sway me into what I want to do in life. At least I seldom did,
You tried not to.
Yeah,
You're aware of trying not to.
Yeah, and that's nothing against my parents, you know what I mean? It's just parents don't always know what's best. They're not in our heads, I guess that's all I get for that.
I can agree with that. I think people's influences can be really constructive and very useful, as they can be destructive, and it's all the filter that you put on it, Like, if you absorb something and it doesn't resonate with you and you think it's something wrong with you, that's one thing, but if you think it's something you can improve on, it's a different thing, so...
Coming from, let's say, dysfunctional upbringing, the influence of my parents, friends, and environment have been large in my life. And part of the reason why I was not me until after I was 50 was because everything I did in the back of my mind was, would my father agree with it? Would society agree with it? Who's going to look at me differently than anybody else? And all my decisions just went around in a circle. And what I really wanted was the last thing that came up, And until I was so down out and did not want to live anymore, and I started paying attention to less pain, that I started putting things that were less painful into my life, emotionally and physically. And since then, I realized how much, my opinion of my father, or my father's opinion of me, or whatever was on my mind. And I also work with veterans and other people who have been who are dealing with depression, PTSD, and many other mental illnesses, social anxieties, what you will. They are stuck on, my father said this to me when I was 7, and these people are in their 70s and 80s. We hang on to other people's opinions for years on end, unless we can let go of that judgment and find a new way to live. And it's very simple, but it's not easy. Every single person is going to be a little bit different, if not a lot different.
Right. What did you think?
Just going along with that, it's people's impressions and how you interpret them. Everybody's gonna have an opinion. We have our own opinions. We put our opinions. If you look at it on the flip side, we put our own opinions on other people.
That we do.
And we have our good intentions, but it depends on how they resonate into you and how you absorb them, what you do with them.
Let's go with another.
What do you think? Another one? Yeah. I think we covered that.
Yeah. I hope that was good.
Yeah.
Very nice. Take a peek.
It's fully covered all bases, I think.
Oh, I can't imagine who this is from. I ran into a good friend on the lawn of City Hall, and when I first met him, there was only 3 letters that came out, 4 letters, N-O-G-M-O.
Yeah, GMO,
It was
no.
difficult to get him to stop talking about how bad GMOs were, and I
Rightfully
totally
so,
understand.
yeah.
Rightfully so in many instances, and I'm not one to absolutely shut off anything. I don't think all GMO necessarily is bad, but I know there are some GMO out there that is horrendous. What they've done to our corn and to many crops is just Monsanto was just ridiculous. But
was his question about labeling?
why should we label GMO? Well, why shouldn't we label GMO?
I know.
That's what I want to know. I want to know
yeah.
everything I put in my mouth.
Why shouldn't we label anything?
Come on.
I mean, not even just GMO though. Why is there something why would you not want to know what's in?
Well, see, if you get into labeling laws, and so every package could have 1,000 labels on it, and people want to sell things, and
it's unappealing to the eye,
It's
maybe.
unappealing. There's many, but not just unappealing to the eye, but a lot of over information kind of thing can
True,
happen.
true.
And then, if a food has gone through a process or has something done to it that's different, if it says corn on it and it's not corn, I would want that implied in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, no doubt.
Or
Totally.
if there's something else, add corn in this special genetic adaptation, so
Yeah,
that it
yeah,
could make
yeah.
it so you could live in arid areas. But I want to know that because maybe I don't, whatever, my choice.
Yeah, yeah.
But the
I agree.
reality is that once things have been labeled GMO, they go away. It does not survive economics. When it gets on there, people do not want
Yeah,
GMO
I mean-
products, and it's a rightful scare, but not always justified.
Yeah.
Not every case is a GMO necessarily bad, although in many cases it seems that they are. So why label GMO? Why not? Because we have the right to know what we're eating,
I agree.
period.
I mean, that's as simple as that, right?
Yeah. Let's go to another one.
Let's go to another one.
All right, I'll.
Did you guys?
No, that's okay. I'm one of those people who has a very small opinion on GMO. I like I said, I try to take everything as like to be good to your body as well as you can, and I don't like getting overwhelmed with labels, which I used to use. So like, if you wanna use that toothpaste, and you know what's in it, or you don't, that's your own choice. So.
Totally, yeah.
Right. Don't stress it if you don't. That's
Yeah,
all
exactly.
right. Don't
No,
stress
no.
it. If you're gonna use whatever you use and you're smoking cigarettes, don't stress your cigarettes. You want to get off and make that choice. But
Exactly.
in the meantime, stress is your number one killer. We want to learn not to stress.
True indeed.
That's one of the impetuses of this program is learn how to not stress.
So this is from a friend of mine. I know it's his because he almost told it to me. And anyway, he says, although the internet is one of the greatest inventions in the world, does the power of instant knowledge take away from us as a race, human race, as a species?
Does the power
Does the
of
instant knowledge take away from us?